All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Overdrive. I am Max Black, 2020 broadcast. Welcome to the first installment of the Millennial Soldier. The title is The Fearless Mind of the Millennial Soldier. Let's get into it. First, let's understand what a soldier is, right? A soldier is a person who serves in an army, okay? Now, most ex-military don't want us to call civilian soldiers, but a soldier doesn't necessarily have to be a person that's in an army. It can also be an individual that fights for a cause. It can be an individual that fights for policy. It can be an individual that decides to take on a particular situation for people who can't fight for themselves. I believe that we have such people. We have a generation of millennials. I've talked to a lot of them. At first I didn't understand them, but now I do. One thing I like about them is that they are fearless, not afraid of anything. But some of them may be misguided. And I think that as elders, it's our duty to connect with them, to talk with them, to help them help us. Now, fearlessness, most people would say that a person that is truly fearless is a foolish person. But when you see what's going on out here now, when we have so many males who are cowardly, we need some young, fearless men. In this case, the fearlessness is much needed. I don't see anything foolish about it at all. I mean, we just have a lot of cowardice running all over the place. I mean, just running rampant. We have men attacking women. We have men fighting against women. We have men trying to outdo women. When there was no attention being paid to what's really going on in the real world and where we stand amongst other races of men in the real world on the real stage. And so when you have this kind of cowardice that's running rampant throughout your society, I think fearlessness is in order. We need some young, fearless brothers and sisters to help turn this thing around. And I think the problem with us elders is that we're not doing enough to aid these fearless young warriors, these fearless young soldiers who are ready to fight for us, to help pull us out of this situation that we're in. But they don't necessarily have all the tools to do so. Many of them don't like us elders because they blame us for some of the things that they should have, and they don't have them. I used to sit back and think, when I used to hear stuff like that, I would say, well, what do they mean? I mean, we did everything we possibly could. But then as I looked at generation after generation and saw some of the things that happened from one generation to the next, I said to myself, did we really do the best that we possibly could? There's some of us out here now who can do more, but won't do anything at all. You see, one thing about having an army is that you have to support that army. That army needs to be supported. If you got people fighting for you, then you have to support them. Armies need resources, a large amount of resources. Our millennials, you know, our future soldiers, they need resources, whether those resources be educational, financial, whether they need spiritual support, but they need resources from us so they can do the job that I think they are intended to do, the job that they are capable of doing. I believe that they are the key to turning this whole thing around. Now, you do have some people who are screwed up, you know, they're mixed up with the bad rhetoric out here that's being put out by so-called master teachers who basically turned their back on us, you know. But all of us haven't turned our back. And I don't like how the millennials are being treated. They're misunderstood, but they shouldn't be treated the way they're being treated. Those of us who know better, those of us who have the information, need to come down and connect with them, start talking to them, start helping them, start showing them the way, because they are capable of getting us out of this situation. They are young, they are vibrant, they are ready to fight. They have no fear. Many of them do not fear white supremacy at all. They don't fear white people. They just don't know how to fight. They're willing to fight. They don't know how to fight. They don't know which way they should go. This is why they're barking at the elders, because they're looking to us and saying, what the hell is going on? You guys know better. How come you aren't showing us the right way? I think it's time we stop doing that. I think the elders who are sitting back, it's time to get into the game. It's time to connect with these young millennials. Sit down and talk with them, help them figure out strategies. Give them a better understanding about what's going on out here in this world, and teach them how to get around these obstacles that are in their way, because we can all benefit from it. We have a moving train here, people. The problem is we're not getting on that moving train. We're watching that train pass us by. That train is a millennial train. Forget about trying to change the mind of these old, beat down, bitter, bad analogy, bad information giving, corny, weak, so-called males who are bitter and angry at the world. Forget about them. Forget about the ones who want to argue and fight and tear each other down and hold ridiculous grudges about nothing. Forget about all of that. Let's go with the people who are willing to do something. And for what I've seen from these millennials, they are ready to do something. They just don't know what to do. That's where we come in. Those of us who have the experience in life, those of us who have gotten over obstacles, who have the knowledge of how to get around things, and have the knowledge and understanding of policy and structure and what's going on in this world, we need to pass that information to them. Now, some people will say that you can't talk to these millennials. They think they know everything. No, it's not that they think they know everything. They're just filled with energy. They're frustrated. They're ready to do something. It's kind of like training a boxer how to box, but never allowing that boxer to get into the ring to test out the skills that you've taught the boxer. If you work a boxer out and you teach them how to throw punches and combinations and give them different kinds of skills, well, eventually they want to try those skills out in the ring against another person. And if they can't do that, if they're always working out, then they're always gonna feel like, hey, when is my first fight's coming? When will I actually get in the ring to see what I really know? Well, the millennials are the same way. They're like, hey, you know what? We got all this energy. We have this fearlessness. We're not afraid of white supremacy like some of you old fools are. We're not afraid of white men like some of you old fools are. We're ready, we're willing, we're able. Show us what to do. Let us get in the ring. They just want to get in the ring. These people are ready to fight. I mentor some of them in my spare time. They understand that we need to take the fight to the enemy, and they're ready to do that. A lot of them are ready to do that. They just don't know what to do. And they're upset with the elders because they feel that we've left them nothing. They feel that we've left them out to dry. See, all they hear from us, right, is excuses. Now, a lot of us are nostalgic and we like to go all the way back in the day and we like to bring up all of this history, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. Understand what I'm saying? But we're not dealing with young Black people who don't necessarily understand our history. We're dealing with young Black people who are ready to do something. They're ready to act. We have a nation of young men and women that are ready to go to action. They don't want to hear all of this. Well, 40, 50 years ago, I walked 10 miles to go to school. 100 years ago, I remember when we had to drink out of the white only fountain or something. They didn't want to hear all that. They understand that that took place. Where their mind is right now is on fixing the problem and turning the tide. A lot of them feel this way. They're like, hey, you know what? We're not afraid. We just don't know what to do. Like a lot of them have skills, especially technical skills. A lot of young millennials are into technology. A lot of them built Twitter and built Instagram. But you don't see a representation of Black technology in the technical world, especially in Silicon Valley, where it's less than 3% Blacks. And that's if the 3% Blacks in there, or less than 3% Blacks, aren't Clarence Thomases. Okay? If you're talking about a bunch of Clarence Thomas clones, then it's less than that. Could be somewhere around 1%. Or less than 1%. So we have some young, able-bodied brothers and sisters who are frustrated because they aren't afraid. They see old, feeble-minded fools traipsing around on social media, spouting BS. And it drives them crazy because they see the fear in these old fools. They see how fearful these so-called master teachers are of white men and women. They hear the excuses not to act. Okay? They hear the disgusting rhetoric of laying down, loving your enemies, lie down in a fetal position and pray that you don't get hurt. They hear all this disgusting rhetoric, and they're not trying to hear any of that. They are filled with fire. They're filled with righteous anger. They're ready to ball up their proverbial fist and get to swinging. They just need to know what to swing on, who to swing on. where to swing. And that's where we are supposed to come in, because even though they're ready to go, they lack the experience and the knowledge that they need in certain areas to overcome and conquer certain things that have been plaguing us for decades or generations. And that's where we are failing them. You see, a lot of the elders don't listen to these young brothers and sisters. You see, we tend to do that as elders. We tend to just overtalk everybody. We tend to just already believe that they don't know what's going on. And so we don't listen. We just say, oh no, this is what's going on. Listen, your ancestors and your grandmama and your grandpapa and your grandpapa's papa's grandpapa said this and did that and shined shoes and chased chickens. They don't want to hear that. And they're not being disrespectful. Like I said, I talk to a lot of them. I work with a lot of them. They're not disrespectful people. They're being misunderstood. They don't want to hear all of that. They've heard that before. Many of them know a lot more history than you give them credit for. We just assume that they don't know anything about our history. You see, that's an assumption that we make because many of us have gone through a lot of things. We've seen a lot of things. And you know, when you've gone through so much stuff, there's a certain amount of respect you feel that you're owed, right? We feel that people should listen to us because we've experienced it. We've been through it. Well, that may have been good 20, maybe 25 years ago. But this is a new time. We have to make an adjustment. We have a young generation that is ready, willing, and able to do the fighting that we can no longer do ourselves. I've always said, when you go back and you study history, one thing that most people don't pay attention to, very few people pay attention to this when they study history. When you look at history and you look at how things changed, look at how things came about, things that changed the way people think, the way people behave, things that changed the world did not come about without bloodshed. You will not go back in history and find a change that redirected an entire people without bloodshed. So if we're serious about fixing things in the future, then we have to understand that things may get ugly. Now, there are different things out here now. We have technology. We have a lot of stuff today that we didn't have back then. Maybe that's why blood was spilled. Maybe blood don't have to be spilled today at all. But we won't know if we don't put our heads together and connect with our young people to find out what is it that we can help them do, so we can utilize that fearlessness, that courage, that want to, that burning desire that they have to fight. And so my thing is this here. Instead of over talking them, listen to them. I listen to them. I have conversations with them. They know a lot more than we give them credit for. And shame on some of us too for not listening to our young people. In order to direct someone, to help someone, you have to listen to them first. But many of us have gone the route, well, I know what's going on and that's the way it is. When I was 9 years old, I was riding horses and we were carrying potato sacks, throwing hay. You know, that's all well and good, and no one is saying that that's not significant and that's how you develop. But you see, they are different. They don't come from those times. And I think that that's where we're falling short. We're not addressing them in the time that they come from. We're trying to throw them back into a time where they weren't born, where they have no experience, where they weren't privy to the things that happened. Many of these people don't know what happened in the 70s. They weren't there. They weren't in the 60s. They weren't around for the Black Power movement. And then sometimes we take them back even further than that. And this is what frustrates them. It's as if we don't know that they weren't born back then. They can't feel the way we feel. They didn't experience those things. What they are experiencing is what they're going through right now. And when they look at other races of people, they study what the elders have done for their younger generations. And when they see that most of these races have grandfathered their younger generation into stable jobs, have left them housing, have left them an enclave to where they can nourish and grow their families. This bothers them a great deal because then they look at us and they say, well, where the hell is all of this for us? So instead of us coming to them and saying, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, we didn't get a chance to do that because of this and this and that, right? This is what we do. We come to them and say, well, listen, the reason why you don't have anything and we couldn't grandfather you in is because this happened and this was taken away and that wasn't given to us and this and that. But you see, when they hear that, right, that doesn't frustrate them. What frustrates them is what comes after you say that. They're looking for the, okay, yeah, that happened, but what's next? What did you do? And see, when we get to that part of the conversation, nothing comes out after we say, well, the crack epidemic happened and, you know, it did this to Black people, it did that to Black people. Police brutality, racism, the this and racist policies, stuff like that. Okay, yeah, all these things happen, but they're saying, what did you do afterwards? And usually our answer is nothing. You see, that's what frustrates them. Because when they look at other races of people and they study the histories and the going-ons of other races of people, they've also seen other people struggle. See, one thing about us is that we tend to believe that we're the only ones who've struggled in this country. Yeah, we probably is the only ones who've been treated the way we've been treated, but we aren't the only people who've struggled and who had obstacles to overcome. So when they see these kinds of things, they see those people still persevere. They say, okay, well, yeah, we got knocked down. We got our legs cut out from under us, but you know what? We borrowed somebody else's legs and we stood back up. And then we were able to walk on our own. We gave them their legs back so they could, so that they can get back up and walk, right? Crazy analogy, right? But it's a real one. And so they're saying, okay, you got knocked down. They broke up the families. They did all of these horrible things, but somehow you're still here. You see, they're looking at us, standing in front of them, talking. So they see able people when we're conversating with them. They're not talking to dead people who are in their grave. Because if we were broken that badly, we probably wouldn't be around to even have a conversation with them. So this is the way they see it, right? So they say, well, if you're able to stand here and talk to me about all of this stuff, how come you didn't do anything after all of these things happened to you? You just laid there and took it and didn't do nothing and just went with it? See, that's what they don't understand. You see, they see us as quitters. This is what a lot of elders don't understand when they talk to these people. They think that we quit. They think that we just lie down and just forget about it. Let's just forget about it. Yes, we got beat up. We got punched in our face. We got kicked down the street and knocked down on the ground. And we just laid there. Where they've seen other races of people get kicked down and knocked down, but they didn't stay down. And that's where the disconnect comes. That's where the misunderstanding comes between us and the millennials. This is why, we're clashing with them, because we don't understand what it is that they're seeing when they look at us. We think that they're being disrespectful, and they're just calling us old geezers and old fools, and that we ain't about shit. No, that's not the way they see it. They see it as, yeah, we got knocked down, and they're acknowledging that we got knocked down. If you talk to many of them, they know that we've gone through slavery. They know that there's the deck is stacked against us. These aren't stupid people. They may be young, but they're not stupid. And they're not altogether unlearned. But many of us don't know that because we don't take time to talk to them. We just assume that we know better than them. And so we tend to bring our experience and our time into their time when they don't understand our times. And we think that we understand the times that they're going through because we've seen all of this happen, right? We've seen all of this stuff take place, right? But check this out. They're actually living this time. We're not. We come from a different time. We are already full grown. We already have our lives a certain way. Our lives aren't affected by what they're going through right now because we actually, even though we're here, we don't come from this time. We don't come from this era. So many of us are already fully established, got successful marriages, we got homesteads, we got money in the bank. They are different. They're trying to find their way. They're trying to get where we're at and beyond. And so when they see us, when we're having these conversations with them, they're looking at us like, well, what the fuck are we doing now? You guys are still laying down? Have you gotten up? I mean, yeah, you got drop kicked and you're laying on the ground. Have you thought about getting up? And it's hard to convince them that we have when they don't see it and they've seen other races who have gotten knocked down, but got back up and got back in the game and carved a niche out for themselves in this world. And so when they see us, they see and hear excuses. They don't hear this fiery talk like, okay, listen, yeah, we got fucked up, but this is what we're doing right now. We got this piece of land over here that we're developing. We're building a school over here. We're trying to get this thing going on the economic tip. We're trying to do this, we're trying to do. Now, what they hear is a bunch of bullshit. What they hear is cats talking about Kemet and 60,000 years ago and who the hell did this and that, who dug up who. They hear somebody go on and on and on about some shit he experienced, right? That he hasn't been able to tell anybody in a long time. So they get into their faces and talk for long periods of time about shit that they went through. See, when someone comes to you for help and all you do is talk to them about, well, actually, your way of helping them is talking to them about the shit that you went through 20, 30 years ago. It's really not helping them. Some people will be frustrated by that because they said, look, man, I asked you for help. I didn't ask you to come over here and tell me what the hell you did 30 years ago. I'm asking you to help me right now in real time. I'm 20 some years old. I wasn't alive 30 years ago. I'm telling you what's going on right here, right now in real time with me that I need help with. Now, you already established, you already came through hard times. There's not a lot of fathers around here that I can go to, a lot of male leadership that I can go to. So what are you going to do to help me? I'm a young millennial. I'm asking for guidance. Well, son, let me tell you, 60 years ago when Jim Crow was so forth and whatever, and we fell out of the house and knocked the outhouse over because we was upset. They don't want to hear that. Often we really don't have no answers for them because I've heard brothers try to talk to these young men and women. They really don't have any answers for them. It's just some reoccurring shit that happened 40 and 60 years ago, because you assume that they don't respect our history. You assume that they don't know our history. Many of them know a lot about our history. They read. But the problem with them is, I'm sorry, the misunderstanding with many of them is they know what happened. They upset about what happened, and they want to fight back. They want to turn the tide. But the environments that many of them grow in lack leadership. They don't have a lot of leaders to go to get guidance. And so they're trying to guide themselves. This is why many of them have the attitude that they have, and they're not willing to listen. It sounds like they're unreasonable and they're not willing to listen. It's not that they don't want to listen, it's that they're frustrated because they've heard a lot of this shit before. Just about every elder that they've gone to have given them some rigmarole about 200 years ago, something that they already know. They want to know, did we get up and fight back? Are we fighting back now? What are we doing now to fix the situation? See, they look at it as, well, we can't go back 200 years ago and do anything about what happened back then. We can't change the fact that there were white-only water fountains or white-only bathrooms. That already happened. We can't do nothing about that. We can't do nothing about Rosa Parks. We can't do anything about what happened to Dr. King. But we can do something about what's going on now. What are we doing right now? Other races of people who have gone through adversity have gotten up off the deck and fought back and are building and are flourishing now. So when they look at us, we aren't flourishing. What we're doing is we're running our mouths. See, they hear a bunch of bibble babble. They want it. These people are ready for action. These young millennials are no joke. They're looking to kick ass and take names. They don't want to hear a bunch of, well, what they did was they gentrified your uncle's farm and threw everybody off of there, put some white folks there and stole all the pigs and the cows and shit, and then ran down the street and burned down some fucking houses. They don't want to hear that. What they want to hear is, what are we going to do about our situation right now? I'm ready. Tell me what to do. How can I get it again? How can I change it right now? I see my competition out there. I see our competition out there that are making a way for their young generation. Regardless of what they went through, they are still making a way for their younger generation. They're not sitting back telling their young generation, well, you know what? When we were Chinese, they made us build the railroads and they called us chinks and shit. And you know, we were heartbroken and we didn't do a damn thing about it. They don't see that. They see those people making a way for their young generation, regardless of what they went through. They expect us to be strong and do the same thing, and that's not what they're seeing. What they're seeing is a bunch of worthless motherfuckers in the conscious community feed bullshit to black people. What they see is a bunch of so-called master teachers on social media handing them bullshit, shit that don't work, information that don't add up to a hill of beans. What they see is self-serving historians talk about history without giving them an answer about any goddamn thing that they're asking for. See, we got this thing with history. We tend to always want to go back to history. See, when you talk to other races of people, right? 1 second here. See, when you talk to other races of people, you don't hear this shit. When they talk about their history is always a compliment to what they're doing right now in this day and time. You see, you talk to the Asian man is over here kicking ass and taking names. Okay? He's making a name for himself, right, in technology. He's a technological person. He's in engineering, all kinds of mathematics. They're attacking these schools. I call it an attack because they're getting all the education that they possibly can get. They're arming themselves with one degree after another. Yeah, man. Sure, Book of Moses. Book of Moses, are you a millennial? Because this is about the millennials today. Sure, definitely. We got to stream this. And so they don't want to. So these other races, right? When they talk about their history, it's a compliment to what they're doing right now. Yes, you know what? We used to build the railroads. We used to lay this. They used to lay that. The white men used to have us doing this and do that. But you know what we did? We turned around and we did this. We turned around and we did that. And we built this. And we kept our families together. Now, we done jacked him for every goddamn degree that he can possibly give out. We do all of the mathematics. We pretty much run his technological industry. We got a foothold here in America. We own property. We got our own fucking police force. Asians will tell you shit like that. I've seen it. You got Spanish people who come over here. You think they don't face adversity? Yes, they get, yes, they come over here and utilize welfare, but what do you think that, okay, good, Book of Moses. I'm gonna give the link out and, we wanna get some millennials up here and we wanna have a conversation, okay? Just let me finish going on with my rant and then I'm gonna open it up. All millennials are invited today. Okay, so here's the thing. And so the Spanish man, he comes over here, okay? A lot of them get the fuck over here from the border, Mexicans or whatever. They come over here with nothing. Now people say, well, they get government handouts, right? And they accept it. You damn right they're gonna accept government handouts. What the fuck do you think this is? The motherfucker come over here starving without a pot to piss in or one to throw it out. It ain't his fault that our government is fucked up and we're not doing anything to fight for ourselves to straighten the government out. That's not his fault. You damn right he's gonna come over here and take every goddamn advantage he can possibly can to help him, his family, and his people. I ain't mad at that. We should be doing the same thing. And so when our millennials, they see this, they see these other races of people doing this, and they tell us like, okay, what's going on? How come we aren't doing everything that we can as Black people, okay, to fight against this shit now? What they get is a bunch of bullshit like this. Well, we did it back in the 60s, man. We was Black Power and, we were the Black Panthers and, and we was going around saying jive turkey and the white man got mad at us for saying jive turkey because he thought we were talking about him and he started locking us the fuck up. So the millennial is saying, okay, well, you're not locked up now. What are you doing now other than standing here feeding me some bullshit? You see, this is the misunderstanding that we have in millennials. You see, you think that they're disrespected. They're not disrespecting us. They're looking at the situation for what it is now. They didn't live 40 and 50 years ago, 60 years ago. Many of them don't know anything about the Black Panther movement. What they know about is what they're going through right now. And they see these other races have made a way for their younger generation. They also see that these younger races, these other races have gone through adversity, who has faced adversity, who's been knocked down, but chose not to stay down. You see, that's what's catching their attention. That's what they're looking at. Yeah, the Asian man got his ass whooped. But who's gonna whoop the Asian man ass now? I dare you to fuck with the Asian man now. How do you think China became so powerful? How do you think they're so powerful now? You think China was invaded several times, taken over by the British, hell, even the Japanese. Look at them now. Would they be what they are now if they had stayed down? No. So when they look at us, they see all of these things They see that these races who've gone through adversity, right, but chose not to stay down, chose to get back up and fight and make a way for themselves and scrap all the way till they got themselves in the position of power and to where they're capable of leaving something behind for their younger generation, grandfathering their generation into a new era to where they're automatically prospering or automatically on the plus side. And so when they look at us, our elders, hey, what? Wait a minute. How are we supposed to compete? We got the brain power, we got the energy, we got the courage, and understand these people are fearless. I've talked to these people. I've worked with these young brothers and sisters. They are not afraid of white supremacy. They are not afraid of white people. They just don't know how to fight. And they're looking to us for some guidance, and they're not getting it because many of them are growing up in an environment where there are no male leadership. And so they're coming to us, they're saying, okay, well, you are our elders. What's going on here? What are we supposed to do? And we tell them shit like, well, you know, well, when Rosa Parks did such and such and such and such, and Dr. King did this and that, and Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X, we start running these names at her. And they're sitting there like, okay, yeah, I read about Rosa Parks, I read about Dr. King, but with all due respect, Elder, that was a long time ago. What are we doing now? You see, we get mad when they ask us questions like, what are we doing now? When we're talking about historical figures. We think they're being disrespectful. They're not. We have to understand that they didn't live in those times. And we don't live in their time. We don't come from their generation. We come from another generation. We already have an established mind. We already have a routine in life. We already built the things that we need. They need us to teach them. There is no grandfathering in. We've allowed them to be grandfathered out. And so when they turn to us, their elders, their Black people, what they get is a bunch of rhetoric, a bunch of fanciful rhetoric, a bunch of historians, a bunch of historical shit that they can't use. Now, some of it can be used, but most of it is useless because it's not helping them. They need information, they need instruction, they need information that's going to help them right now. We're so afraid that they're going to forget that they're Black and they're going to forget where they came from or who did this before them, whatever. These people aren't going to forget that they're Black. They know that they're Black. We often misunderstand the fact that they don't know our history. That's an assumption. Many of them have read our history and they are well versed in our history. What they want to know is what the hell are we doing now? Yes, we got knocked down, we got kicked in our teeth, we got drop kicked. Did we get up? Did we do what these other races are doing? Did we get up off the deck and continue to fight? That's what they don't see. They're not saying that we didn't go through hard times. They're not saying that we didn't, They're not saying that we didn't go through hard times. They're not disrespecting the fact that what our ancestors went through, they would never do that. Okay? They're not saying that. They're not disrespecting. See, a lot of elders think that that's what they're doing because a lot of elders want to hear themselves talk. A lot of elders think they know every goddamn thing. And they want to sit there and, be over bloated with all this hot air about what happened 100 and 200, 300 years ago. They aren't interested in that. They didn't live in those times. They need to know what's going on now. What are we going to do now? Are we fighting now? Are we making changes now? Because that's where they live. They live in the now. And that's where the disconnect comes from. They're often misunderstood because we're not trying to understand them. Many of us are so damn caught up in our own history and the fact that we studied all of this history, and many of us have lived through a lot. I've lived through a lot of stuff myself. I've lived through the crack. I've seen what it's done to Black people. A lot of them know it too. But what they're looking at, what's pissing them off is this. What are we doing now? And they don't see us doing anything. What they see us doing is sitting up here, running our mouth about yesteryear, and keep talking about old heroes such as the Garveys and the X's and the Kings. Where are the new heroes? See, the millennials, they are about the new. Where are the new heroes? Where are the new Black people who are standing up? They want to know where these people are. They look back there and they see the heroes of yesteryear. They're like, okay, great. Now, where are these people in my time? Who am I to look up to? Who am I to follow like that? Where are the kings of today? Where are the X's of today? Where are the Garveys of today? Where are they? That's what they're looking for. They don't see them. They can't find them. They want to see a continuation of the history. They want to see a progression of the history. Did we progress from those situations? Did we make changes? Did we make an adjustment to prevent such things happening in the future? Are we building? Are we producing the necessary things for us to be a people that have amassed power, wealth, and influence? They don't see that. They see other races doing that. They see other elders doing that for their younger generation. Imagine how they feel. They're seeing generations, foreign generations of their age already coming into wealth, power, and influence. Because their elders decided not to stay down on the deck and get back up and fight, right? And accumulate this for their younger generation. You see, the millennials, right? To them, that's love. They watch these other elder generations fight and claw their way to riches and wealth for their younger generation. To them, that's being done out of love. They see that as love. So when they look at the elder generation, they don't see that same kind of love. What they hear is excuses, old niggas making excuses. Old niggas who are past their prime talking about shit that happened 150 years ago and not really giving them no real hard answers. Some of these motherfuckers, you can sit here and they can talk for 2 hours, right? And won't give you an answer about shit. After a 2-hour session of listening to some of these motherfuckers, you won't know heads or tails. You'll come away from the guy and say, what the fuck was so-and-so talking about? Well, I don't know. Did he even give us any solution or anything? Well, he talked about Black people. He talked about what happened in the 60s with the boycotts and the You talked about Dr. King and what did he? I mean, can you take any of that? I don't know what the hell. And so this is what frustrates them. This is what frustrates them. They're not getting what they need from us, the elder generation. What they're getting from us is a lot of talk, no action. They don't see any action. The millennials are about action people. These are action-oriented people. And if we don't give them any guidance, any action, they're going to fall into ruin, like the generations before them, and the generations after them. They're going to just fall into ruins, or they will completely disconnect from us altogether because they can't count on us. Because many of us are stuck in the past and trying to relive the past. They don't live in the past. They live in the present. They need to know what to do now. They are willing and they're able to take the fight to the enemy, but they need support. They need guidance. And we're not giving it to them. They don't see any love because we have nothing here for them to feel loved about. We don't have these enclaves that we've carved out for them to where they can immediately go into power, wealth, and influence coming out of school. They're already starting with a full deck. They don't have any of that. What they see is a struggle as bad as at worst as the struggles in the past. And to them, that's not cool. That's unfair. They see that as us doing nothing. I agree with a lot of what they're saying, because a lot of it is true. We aren't doing any damn thing. Many of us talk too goddamn much. Many of us just want to hear ourselves talk. We want to talk down to our young people, all right, until they're blue in the face and give them no real direction, no real answers. No instruction, no how to. They'll listen if we are ready to instruct. But they don't want to listen if we're just going to continue to run our goddamn mouths and put nothing behind it. They see other elders from other races loving their younger generation because they've left them everything that they fought for. They see us, and what they see is a bunch of dilapidated communities, gentrified communities that we're not doing anything to stop. The conversations that they hear is about what we can't do, what's been done to us, not what we're going to do, not what we're going to do to fix it. They don't hear shit like that. What they hear is, well, let me tell you what happened. This and this and that and so forth went down to this, and who was on first base and who was on second, and I don't know was on third, and I don't give a damn was at home plate. And I talk too much, was in the dugout. And I say a lot of useless shit on the team. That don't sound like a winning team, does it? So when they look at us, they don't see a winning team. And that's what really frustrates them. And many of us are constantly misunderstanding them because we don't listen to them. We just automatically assume that they don't know our history, that they don't know what they're talking about. Well, how do you know they don't know what they're talking about if you don't listen to them? In order to know that somebody doesn't know what they're talking about, you got to listen first. And with that being said, let me open up the panel. Millennials are welcome. I would love to get into a conversation with you young brothers and sisters. I work with a lot of you, in my off time. Let me get the panel going here. We're talking about the fearless mind of the millennial soldier, our young fearless nation of young Black men and women. 1 second. All right, the link is in the chat. So come on up and we can get into the discussion. I got plenty of time today. Shout out to Tamika Jackson. She said, so true, because whites leave wealth and possessions to their offsprings, where we are worried about spending money with no future in mind. Absolutely. I agree. We don't even, you see, the thing about it, Tamika, is that it's not even so much as that. There are just no solutions. People aren't really working on solutions. Now, there are some people in some areas that are working on solutions. Not everybody is beat down and trying not to do any other thing. There is some Black brothers and sisters out there trying to, who are solution oriented. Okay, but they're far and few in between. We have way too many people running their damn mouth and not saying a damn thing. It's like James Brown said, talking loud, but you ain't saying nothing. Okay. And one thing I noticed about the millennials, especially the ones that I've dealt with, these are action-oriented people. They're not trying to hear all of this talk. We finally got a race of people, a generation of brothers and sisters that are ready to get with it. They can't start it because they're not getting what they need from us. So the link is in the chat. Shout out to Joe Whitfield. Let me see, who is that? That's yeah, so you guys can come on up. In here. Book of Moses, what are you over there with RBR? Yeah. RBR still being a lunatic. Yeah, I heard him on that stream over there with what's her name? Shahrazad Ali, saying that she gave him a compliment. I guess the dude is as delusional as ever. She didn't even say anything about it. But anyway, so what they hear about, see, Tamika, the problem with the elders, many of the elders are stuck in their ways and they think that their way works, right? But what they don't stop to think about, if their way worked, then we would be in a better situation, right? Well, we're not. We're not. See, that's how you can tell if messages work, right? People who are telling you, well, this happened and that happened and we did this and we did that and my way is the best way, my way is the way it should be. Okay, well, did your way produce any results? The answer is no. See, no one said that you can't think that you know everything. You can think whatever you want. And no one is saying that you can't think that your way is the best way. But if you're going to think that your way is the best way, then you got to show us some results of your way being the best way. We need to see your way in action. You understand what I'm saying? You got to show us that your way works. We need to see some results. You can't just show it to them about some, well, this is what we need to do. What happened with this generation and that generation, and this happened. They took this from us. They took that from us. But here's my way. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do this. We're going to do this. Okay, well, show me where this worked. So you can't tell me that your way is the best way, and we all should follow your way if you have no example of it. You have no example of it working. Now, if you want to get together with people like I'm trying to do and build from the ground up all together, and we're trying to figure out a way, we're trying to create a solution, that's one thing. But if you come in here with this, well, we're doing it wrong, this is the way we should be doing it, okay, show us where that has worked. And since you're so full of answers and stuff, how come it hasn't worked? See, I don't get caught up in a bunch of, talking and, I don't get mesmerized by a lot of people who claim to be intellectuals on YouTube. I don't get mesmerized by that. I need to see some action. I know better than that. I know how the real world works in real time. Okay. I don't necessarily get impressed with you running your mouth. Show me where your way has worked. Like I said, there's a difference when you want to put an idea out there and you say to the people, hey, listen, this can work. Let's take a look at this. And everybody looks at it together. Okay, well, you know what? That can work. And then we all try it together. That's a whole different story. That's why I support the Great Faulkner Initiative, because the Great Faulkner Initiative shows us that this can work. And plus, the Great Faulkner Initiative has worked. That's why I support it. It has worked. Many of us ex-military, we are the Great Faulkner Initiative. We were doing it before we even knew it was the Great Faulkner Initiative. So it does work. Now that's something I can vouch for that says it worked, because it worked on many of me and some of my friends, right? So we have something out here that's already proven. Why aren't we following it? Why aren't all of us following the Great Faulkner Initiative? It's been proven to work. As a matter of fact, I can make a case that many of the Asians have followed the Great Faulkner Initiative. Many of the Spanish has followed the Great Faulkner Initiative. With great success. Look at the Hindu Indians. They're practicing the Great Faulkner Initiative on the medical field. Look at the Asians. They're practicing the Great Faulkner Initiative in the technological field. So it does work. That's why I back it. That's why I believe in it. And we're going to start promoting it more and more here on the Drive and the other channels. Shout out to the Great Faulkner Initiative, Charles Faulkner, Cerulean Gray, esteemed leader of the Gray Regime. Shout out to the Gray Regime, my Gray Regime brothers and sisters. And one of these days, I'm actually going to come on here and we're going to do a breakdown, an in-depth breakdown of the Great Faulkner Initiative and how it's working in different areas of society. I can point out areas of society where it's working right now. See, it doesn't just work on the military. You can use it to work in mainstream society as well. There are other races of people that are using the methods of the Great Faulkner Initiative right now. The Hindus are using it in the medical field. The Asians are using it in the technological field. The Spanish are using it in agriculture. So it does work. The issue is, how come we aren't behind it? Are we really looking for solutions? Or do we just want to hear ourselves talk? You know, the commander always talks about policy and things like this, you know, but he always gives us solutions. You see, when I talk about where are the people today, where are the Garveys and the Kings and stuff today, we have people like that. We're just not listening to them. We have Dr. Claude Anderson. We got people out here. We just ain't listening to them. And even on a micro level, we have the cerulean grays. We're not listening to them. We don't pay them any mind. We have heroes. We don't support them. So I wanted to come on here and talk about the fearless mind of the millennial soldier, our young brothers and sisters, our young millennials, soldiers in the making and soldiers in the waiting, ready to fight for Black people. They have the energy, they have the physical might, they have the mental fortitude, the emotional stability, they have the energy, and they have the courage. And the things that they're lacking, that they're helping us with, they aren't getting any help with. That's why many of them are so frustrated. See, I'm not into this. Let's sit back and be long-winded, you know, talk for long periods of time until we lose the purpose of what we were talking about in the first place. I'm not into that. I'm not up here trying to be smarter than other people. I'm not up here trying to make myself to be a know-it-all. I'm up here trying to help where I can. Because as Black people, we need help. We don't have any allies. All we have is each other. We have to help each other. We have a young generation, a fearless young generation that is ready to go to war. They're just not equipped to do so. We have to help them get equipped. Those of us who have the knowledge, those of us who have the understanding, we have to help them get equipped. We will be led out of this by the young man and the young woman. There ain't no old geezer gonna lead us out of this. We will be led out of this turmoil by the young Black man and the young Black woman. Why don't many of us understand that? Many of us old geezers are very selfish and just want to hear ourselves talk. Shout out to the strong people in the chat, Joe Whitfield, Tamika Jackson, Books of Moses, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, they finally got rid of Jason Garrett, man. Took them long enough. So like I said, the link is in the chat. Anybody want to come up and talk about the topic? I'll be here for a little while longer. Don't be afraid to talk about the topic. Ain't nobody gonna bite. I just had something I needed to get off my chest about the millennials. Yep, Dallas Cowboys, it's about time you got that bum out of there, man. My bad, I'm drinking some iced tea. And so there it is, people. That's how that was something I needed to get off my chest. And so we're in a battle, okay? The problem is we have to understand that we're in a battle with a real enemy. What's happening to us is that we believe that we are in a battle with each other. We're fighting each other. We have Black people fighting other Black people when we should be joining together. We have animosity, okay? We have petty differences, petty gripes that have grown into serious discontent and dislike for one or the other. That's the wrong answer. Our young generation are losing in the process. We're not going to be here forever. Us elders, we're not going to be here forever. We have to understand that right now, our younger generation are losing because of what we are doing to each other, what we are allowing to go on, what we are partaking in, all of this bickering and fighting and hatefulness that we have towards one another. Our young generation suffers. And they see this. They don't see this happening with other races of people. Okay, they don't. They see their elders bickering and fighting and being petty and scheming and squabbling on each other. And they say, well, where does that leave us? I can't blame them for not having much faith in their elders. Look at how the elders are behaving. We have men running around here attacking Black women. We have Black men forming hate groups against other Black people. The millennial generation, they see this. They don't want any parts of it. They don't know who to turn to. They don't want any parts of this. Book of Moses decided to come on up and join me, huh? Welcome, Book of Moses, to the panel.
What do you say, Max?
What's going on, my brother? Are you a millennial?
Yeah, do I have an echo?
No, you good. Come on through.
All right, cool beans, man. I mean, you were touching on a lot of topics. I mean to just say, sometimes you need some old wisdom and some young energy. And I think if you put those things together, you'll just be unstoppable. I think we have what we call a generational gap. It's you guys have the wisdom, we have the energy, but it seems to be some type of gap. You can't put the shit together, if that makes sense.
The reason why it can't go together because we have a lot of selfish elders who know better, who are acting very shameful right now, who should be ashamed of themselves. We're bickering, we're fighting, we're being petty, we're hurting each other, we're attacking each other, we're doxing each other. And for the millennials, they're looking at this and they're like, what the hell is going on? Who are we supposed to turn to? Our elders are hell bent on whooping each other's asses. The millennials are looking at shit in real time. We are grandfathered out of a lot of these industries. We have the know-how. Hell, who do you think built Twitter and Instagram? Young Black millennials did the majority of that technology. How many of us even know that? But Black technology isn't represented nearly at all in the technological industry. A lot of young Black millennials built Instagram and Twitter. And so now they're saying, okay, we're showing you what we can do, but we're still running into a wall. You guys got the wisdom. How the hell do we get around this wall? Well, we're not paying them any attention. We're over here behind the wall fighting each other, talking for long periods of time and saying absolutely nothing, giving you history lessons that you don't need, assuming that you don't understand our history, assuming that you don't know about your Blackness. Over talking you because many of us are filled with hot air, giving out bad information, useless information. It's like I said before, the millennials are action-oriented people. They're ready to do something now, not 60 years ago. And we're not giving them the wisdom that they're seeking. Our so-called wisdom right now is busy fighting other so-called wisdom.
I mean, for myself, it's definitely a lack of understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How can I phrase this? Somebody ain't passing the torch down properly. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, as a millennial, tell me, what do you see from the elders?
Just a bunch of old niggas talking shit. I mean, I hate to just be frank with you, but a bunch of old niggas talking shit.
I see the same thing. I'm an elder too. I see the same thing. A bunch of old ass niggas talking shit. That's not disrespectful. That's the damn truth. A bunch of old ass, I'll say it for you. A bunch of old ass niggas talking shit. That's exactly what's going on. Now, not all of them. Some of them got some good information. Some of them got some good instructions. Not all of them.
No, that definitely everybody. But yeah. It'd be definitely some old ass niggas out here just talking shit for sure. What you said, they was long-winded. They have a bunch of soliloquies and all this bullshit, but they never have the answer to today's problem. They was talking about what we was boycotting back then. We had all this energy and all this, je ne sais quoi. And you ask them, well, shit, how the fuck we use that shit today? Give me some of your wisdom. I'll take some of this energy and I'll make the shit pop. The nigga talking circles for 3 hours and he's just an old nigga, I guess he got hypertension. He forgets what he's doing sometimes. I don't know, shit.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, my young brother. That's exactly what I'm talking about. A bunch of niggas talking shit about yesteryear that don't add up to a fucking hill of beans today. How many times are we going to talk about Marcus Garvey? How many times are we going to talk about Dr. King? How many times are we going to talk about Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and the boycotts and the gentrification and the goddamn redlining and all this other shit? When are we going to actually do something to change what the hell is going on right now? Because when you look at other generations, foreigners, do you see the same thing? No. They are passing shit down to their younger generation. You got a generation, you guys up against foreign generations, they are way ahead of you guys. They're being already put into positions of power, wealth, and influence by their elders, who were also kicked down, punched in the mouth, knocked down on the mat, but decided not to stay down there. So we look at these niggas now, especially these bums from the conscious community, telling you about this old shit. You say, okay, well, yeah, that happened. But what are you doing right now? Well, you got to know the history, brother. Dude, what kind of answer is that? I asked you, what the fuck are you doing now? Well, you got to know the history, brother.
Can I keep it real with you, man?
What'd you say, Moses?
Can I keep it real with you, G?
Keep it real, Musa.
Like Umar Johnson's, for instance, you know, he talks all this shit about building a school. He knows the history, but like it's almost, 10 years later, there's no school and you steady talking about history and all this bullshit. Like, when that shit gonna come into fruition? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit are kind of, like an elder, like Umar Johnson, who's not an idiot. He probably knows what he's talking about, but he just talks all day and doesn't have no action. What do you call that shit? I'm not trying to be disrespectful because, the man is smart. I don't think he faked them degrees. I don't think he lying about that part. I think he lying about the school part. So what's so easy about talking and what's so hard about doing action? What's going on right here?
Well, the problem with, Brother Umar, shout out to Umar Johnson. This is definitely not a knock against him. We don't want to badmouth him, but the issue with him, what I think is happening with him.
I'm just keeping it real, G. Just keeping it funky.
Right. The issue, to me, in my opinion, what's happening with Umar Johnson is that he's not getting any support. He's trying to take on a large project. That school that he wants to build, that's a major project, dude. That ain't no little, a hop and skip and a jump. That's a major undertaking. He wants agriculture in that school. He wants a stock market. He wants all these things. That's a major project, man, that needs many working parts to come together. But he's not getting it. You see, the problem with us as Black people, we don't get behind the people who are putting these ideas together. We'd rather ridicule them and tear them down. See, he's being torn down more than he's being supported.
I mean, he was always torn down for his ideas of, how they putting young Black boys on this ADD medicine and how they categorize them in schools. Right. And like, I'm not saying that's a smart brother. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying where's the action part? You saying he's not being funded properly. So
no. He's not being supported. He's not being supported. Black people should have been helping him get that school up. Even Shahawaz Ali touched on that, right? Help him build that damn school. If he was white, that school would have been built years ago. If he was Asian, that school would have been built years ago. Shit. It's not built now because we got too many Negroes caught up in their own bullshit and, their petty differences and don't want to help the brother. They'd rather sit out there and let this brother continue to cry out about getting his school done so they can laugh at him and make goddamn videos about him and shit, but don't want to support him. But I bet you if it was somebody who's white, a lot of niggas, check this out, white people will get support from other Black people. Not only will they get support from their own people, they'll get support from Black people too.
It's really a conspiracy theory, bro. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I hate to throw this out there, but when they said that little situation with the stripper and shit, they were just trying to discredit him because he had the money, but when they put that out there, his investor backed out. So it's just that propaganda, smear your name type tactic that, fuck Dr. Umar Johnson off. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's where we dropped the ball. We should have stepped in. See, we're not unified. I keep telling people, you can't get anything done without unity. These other races are unified. A white man could be fucking homeless with no pot to piss in or window to throw it out, but he will still be on code. Okay? We should have stepped in and backed this man to get this goddamn school going. Everybody's worrying about what their little fucking money is going, little $20, whatever. I donated to the school. You don't hear me complaining about it. This man wants to help our young boys. He want to help our young children. How many of these niggas are on YouTube, right, talking stuff about helping our kids? When was the last time you even heard these niggas on here even say anything about the goddamn black community when it comes down to helping it? I can point them out on one hand. But you got a lot of motherfuckers over here talking shit about bullshit. There's a lot of that going on. You got a lot of people criticizing other black people, tearing down other black people. You can find that all over goddamn social media. But how many brothers and sisters you see that's actually trying to talk about doing something? Or even will even bring the millennials together and say, listen, we need to talk to our young millennial generation. These brothers and sisters are fearless. They're not afraid of white supremacy. They're not afraid of the white man. They just need to know what to do. They got the energy and they got the courage. But no, you can't get niggas together to do any goddamn thing. They want to sit talking about, oh, the millennials don't know what the hell they're talking about.
What you were saying earlier, what you was trying to allude to earlier is like, I keep running into the wall and the elders on the other side of the wall, you should give me the energy. Well, I got the energy. Mm-hmm. Teach me how to use it properly. Give me the wisdom.
Exactly. And that's not being done.
It's just a generational gap. I think that occurs every 30 years or some bullshit. Something like that.
Well, yeah, well, you can look at a generational gap, but to me, that's not really entirely the whole problem. The problem is we got Negroes out here who know better. They're not helping. They're caught up in their own shit. They're being selfish. They don't want to help. They want to sit up here and build platforms based off of misdirection and deception and bullshit. And they want to ridicule people because he gets views. Black people destroying other black people on social media has become a big business. And unfortunately, many of us have partaken in that business. Okay, well, we have young soldiers. That's why I titled this The Fearless Mind of the Millennial Soldier. You guys are soldiers in the waiting. You're soldiers in the making. And you're not afraid of the white man. You see, a lot of these old fools are afraid of white folks. So they don't want to rock the boat. You got these old hags up here now talking about something. Well, let's just lie down in a fetal position and pray we don't get hurt. If we don't bring them attention to us, the master won't hurt us. See, y'all ain't trying to hear that. See, I've worked with enough of y'all to know that y'all don't give a fuck about this white man. Y'all not afraid of this white man. Y'all just need the damn, guidance from us to go about how to move properly to take this fight to the white man. No, y'all got the courage to do so.
I don't think it's about being afraid of anybody. I think it's about being confident in yourself. When you confident.
Hold on, let me stop you. With these old niggas, it is about fear. It may not be fear about you guys, because a lot of you guys ain't afraid of nothing. Trust me, I've worked with a lot of y'all. Y'all definitely not afraid. But with my generation, these old ass niggas, it is about fear. A lot of them, it is about fear. They're afraid. They don't want to upset the apple cart. They scared. They scared that the big bad boogeyman might come and do something to them or burn a cross in front of their yard or some shit like that. So they don't want to help our younger generation get ahead. They know that we have a young, vibrant millennial generation that's ready to get after it, but don't want to do anything to help it.
I mean, only you can speak on that part of it, bro. I don't necessarily see it that way. Maybe I would just be, lighthearted and say maybe it's a generational gap. But maybe if you go to the extreme and say them scary ass nigga don't want to pass the information down, you can say that, brother. And dip to the dip. I pick up what you're putting down,
Scary ass niggas that don't want to do shit. That's what we see. That's what some of us elders see. But the scary ass old niggas that don't want to do shit. Okay? And if they got something to say to me about it, I'm right here. I don't have no problem backing up what I said. Okay? It's not about fighting each other. It's about the damn truth. We have to face the truth. How come we aren't helping our young generation? We have a young generation that's ready to get after it. How come we're not doing everything we can to help them? What's the reason for that?
Beats me, Max. Beats the hell out of me.
Shout out to Christine Williams, Royal Lady, and Joe Whitfield. Well, hold on one second. Let me put the link back in the chat. Come on up here, y'all. You know, kick it with me and the young millennial up here, man. You know, it's an opportunity to try to connect with our young people and sit down and talk with them and find out where their head at and see if we can come to some kind of understanding on how we can help each other. We can help them help us because they're ready to help the people. They're just not getting any help from us. You know, go ahead, my brother Moses. Speak. Tell me what's on your mind nowadays, Musa. I keep mispronouncing your name, Musa.
Nah, you know, I think that's Swahili for Moses or whatever. But you know, the year of return, even though I'm a year late, you know, or whatever. But you know, the year of return, is it really worth going back to Ghana or Nigeria, wherever the fuck they making money at in Africa, and really investing in the homeland, or should you just grind it out in America, ADOS style, and try to get that fucking, you know what I'm saying, try to get that check that's owed to you? You know, does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, my thing on that is this here. It don't matter where you go. If your mentality is fucked up, all you're gonna do is fuck up where you get. You fucking up over here because of your mentality. You go over there, you're gonna fuck up. You know, we got to be in order to have something like what people are talking about, like Ghana, whatever, man. You got to have a plan. You got to be unified. You guys got to be down with your boots laced up. Can't go over there half stepping and bullshitting around. First of all, you're dealing with a whole new different set of laws when you go over there. So you got to know what the hell you're doing. You got to have people that's with it, people who ain't going to back down, people who ain't going to back out, people who are on the same page. Okay? You can't get
a lot of people that
do shit.
I hate to interject, but I know there's a lot of brothers that go to Africa. They be wearing sandals and shit. You know, them streets be fucked up with potholes. I'm like, why you don't put a pair of boots on? You know, especially when it rain and shit. But continue, man. I just want to throw that out there. My fault.
because niggas over there trying to shine. That's what it's about. Man, niggas want to shine all the goddamn time, man. Listen, niggas is looking over there to try to relax, man. That's basically what it is. Niggas ain't got no more fight in them, man. The white man that knocked the fight out of a lot of Negroes. Okay, they don't knock the fight. A lot of these old dudes are tired. They don't want to, cause any waves. Okay, they don't want to get into any scuffles and whatnot. And so they pretty much want to get away from the whole situation and go somewhere where they think that it's summer all the time, or they can have a vacation 24 hours a day. They don't want to do anything over here. We don't have nothing over here. We have to build something over here first. How about build something over here, get something started over here to where we can connect with brothers in Ghana and start our own, international trade going back and forth. Now we're doing something.
Like a black Silicon Valley or some shit like that.
Exactly. I was talking to one of my sisters, I am Lucy. She has good ideas about working with brothers from Africa, brothers from Africa, but we got to get something going over here first. We ain't got nothing over here. What's the sense of going over there and trying to establish something if you can't bring it back over here to help your people?
What you call that shit? You mooching. Call that shit mooching.
Right. Unless we're prepared to do some mass exodus over to Africa, which I highly don't recommend. Listen, nothing is stopping us from doing stuff over here. What's stopping us from doing stuff over here right now are mostly Negroes. And we don't want to face that fact. We got too many Negroes telling us not to do shit. Every time we come up with something, it's being knocked down. We got some fool over there on a Real Lunatic Radio telling us to acquiesce to white people.
Well, you say who the fool is? Who pity the fool?
Yeah. With this crazy ass message talking about vote Democrats and don't vote for racists, vote for white supremacists.
Man, I hate to ask this, but who you voting for in the 2020? Because myself, I hope Cory Booker can get the nomination. You know what I'm
I
saying?
ain't voting. I may not vote at all, man.
Yeah. Well, you know they say if you don't vote, that's the vote for Trump and shit. You feel me?
They can kiss my ass.
Oh man, you ain't trying to pick the lesser of two evils, huh?
Nah, man. Come on, what kind of choice is that?
A fucked up one, but you got to make one. Shit, it's a Republican or a Democratic choice. Shit, apparently, brother.
If I do vote, I don't know yet, man. I'm thinking about voting. If I do vote, I may lean towards. Well, I haven't voted Republican in a long time because there's too many goddamn devils over there. So I guess I'll go with the devil that I do know, which would be the Democratic side.
Creepy Joe and his homie Eric Holder, huh? Or whoever is vice president.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the devil I do know. Okay, I know Democratic devils. I don't fuck with Republicans. Republicans are completely off the hook, bro.
I mean, you always got an opinion. You know, you vote. It's the lesser of two evils, so you can't just.
Yeah.
I don't know how to call it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go with the devil I do know. Already, instead of the devil I really don't want to fuck with. It's really not much of a choice, but like you said, we got to make one. And if we can find one of these Democrats that can do something that at least tiny for us or whatever, I guess that's a win for us. But we still got to put some muscle behind it, though. We just can't sit back after we vote them in office and expect them to do everything for us, because that's just not how it works. We still got to do something on our own.
Right.
I mean, if you look at the Chinese people or the Asian people, they don't hardly even vote, man. They just use their money to influence politics.
But somebody would call it communism and shit.
Yeah, because they got things to do that from. They got their own economics over here. We ain't even got our own economics set up over here, man. We don't produce any products. The Asian man over here producing products. He got his own goddamn economy over here. But black people, we don't have them. We don't produce shit. Except for rappers and singers.
I gotta call bullshit on that. What the fuck the Asian producing over here? Corner stores? What they producing?
Okay, let's start with papers, plates, knives, forks, lamps, furniture, refrigerators, TVs.
Homie, that say made in China. I thought you was talking about they coming over here and making shit. You talking about the shit in China?
Yeah, they make it over here too. They got factories over here too.
Whoa.
They produce shit, bro. Check this out. You know how much money they make off of fucking paper plates and shit alone? Yeah, and we don't look at shit like that. I was talking in the Coliseum a while back about black people establishing a manufacturing plant, right? So we can cut in on making paper plates and plastic knives and forks. That's $1 billion, a multi-billion-dollar business, bro.
Wait a minute, bro. I think we getting off on two different. You saying they make the paper plates in China or they making them in America? Chinese plants in America. What are you saying, brother?
I don't necessarily think they're Chinese plants, but they do have places over here to where they house this stuff. I think most of it is still being shipped from China. I got to look that up so I can be accurate about that, but I do know that they make this stuff. They're probably making it in China and shipping it over here to where they have warehouses that are already set up that are ran by China. Because I've delivered to a lot of warehouses that are ran by Asian people. And they bring in a lot of shit, a lot of exports. Imports. They bring in a lot of stuff from China. Okay, and so it's probably being shipped over here, housed in their warehouses, ran by him, and distributed out to the American people.
I ain't gonna fake, cause China's got them trains in the continent. They like poaching indigenous animals and using them shits as medicinal medicine, like I was watching a Vice News report. They're using some type of Sonic the Hedgehog ass shit. Or, they poach rhinoceros and elephants and shits. Like, Yeah, China,
Uh,
they on some shit. Like they get it in. I ain't gonna fake. They really do.
Now you look at it this way, brother Musa, right?
Yeah.
What are black people producing to where we're shipping it anyway? Even here in America, forget about shipping it overseas. What are we making that we're shipping around the United States?
The Final Call newspaper. What?
I rest my case, bro. I mean, they don't even employ. Hell, they don't even employ American black. You know what I'm saying? So the Muslims, they got their own businesses. Okay. And my thing is, we're not producing anything. We can listen. If we had a manufacturing plant, right? We can cut in on some of the Asian man's business. We can produce paper plates, napkins, plastic forks. This is a multi-billion-dollar business.
So
We can
basically,
cut it out if we had our own manufacturing plant.
I mean, it takes money to have the machinery to put in the manufacturing plant. You just can't. A paper plate ain't gonna pop out nobody ass, big homie. I hate to just be abrasive. You have to have the machinery and foremans and niggas producing that shit now. If you know how that
And
shit
so where do we
works,
get the money from? Where do we get the money from?
the banks, I guess, and fiat.
I know,
But you talking about fiat now?
I know where we can get the money from. How
Asia?
about we get it from that? How about we get it from that 1.2 or 1.3 trillion dollars that we spend every year?
Are you talking about Jordans for Christmas? No, we always gonna get Jordans for Christmas. We gotta get that shit somewhere else, bro.
Nah, we got to stop that. You see,
You
that's
gonna,
the problem. See, we got to put the Jordans down and take some of that 1.3 trillion dollars, right, and put it into a manufacturing plant or several manufacturing plants in the urban areas and employ our brothers and sisters and teach them how to become machine operators that produce these paper plates, napkins, and stuff like that, so we can cut in on that business.
so
Now
you,
we're producing and we're shipping.
so you
Now we're starting to build an economy.
people ain't gonna get Jordans for Christmas. They're gonna have to sacrifice. That's gonna be a hard pitch to sell, brother. I don't think too many people ready to sacrifice their Jordans.
Well, then that means that we're going to permanently be underclass citizens. So we have a choice. Here's the choice. Either put down the Jordans or continue to be permanent second class citizens, or continue to be a permanent underclass and
Hey,
always expect to be mistreated and
hey,
disrespected.
hey, this a little bit off subject, but don't they make Jordans for like $10 in China?
Well, actually, it's less than that. Some say it's $10. I think you can make a pair of Jordan for like $6. But don't get me wrong, I got to look it up. But I will definitely look it up and have a more accurate answer for you the next time. But yeah, so
And
we can make Jordans too. We can make sneakers. Black people are very capable people. We can make everything that we buy.
hmm.
We're not the Asian people aren't the only ones that can build technology or make sneakers or make clothes or furniture and stuff like that. We can do that too.
But I guess you say they sacrificed on that shit to build the plants. You know, the white man used to fuck Asians up with opioids. Am I correct? Like they used to fuck them people over up on that shit, but I guess they rose up like the crack epidemic in the 80s. They play the same tactics. If you were a student of history, or maybe I'm tripping.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the white man has something to do with the opioid thing. I think the Asians were doing drugs long before the white man uh, got involved. I mean, they was doing that shit back when they was being occupied by the British. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
All
know if
of
the
a
white.
sudden, all of a sudden, they strike a decree that says we no longer allow these people or the substance, and they
Yeah,
start.
in China, right?
That's a
Yeah, in China, you can get killed for selling drugs.
Yeah, I think they was once tricked by a white man and probably they drugs and shit. So they probably was on code and shit and never allowed that shit again. And us as black people, we still tricked by Jordans and drugs. And, you know, we can talk about, you know, have you seen Lizzo shaking her ass at the game and shit? Like, we tricked by silly shit. It's hard for us to put the Jordans down and actually manufacture shit, build not only wealth but a future for our millennials or whoever the fuck the millennials gonna have coming behind them and shit.
Well, you see, this is the thing. This is what I was talking about earlier, how you guys see things. You see, y'all see all this shit going on that don't make sense to y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what pisses y'all off. They're like, you know, y'all looking at bullshit. I mean, what the fuck is going on? This is bullshit. You got other races of people out here handling business. We out here being tricked by Lizzo running around here showing her ass. See, that's what the millennials see. And it makes sense. Okay? Your reaction makes sense because that's what you see. Because what you see is real. Niggas are tricked off by this bullshit. You know how many videos they made about that? Yeah, niggas said, yeah, these tired ass niggas up here talking about this is the way black women behave. You see, it's female fuckery. Nigga, China is making Jordans and you buying them, and do you give a fuck about that? No.
I don't think they do, homie.
You got niggas going broke because they bought so many Jordans. How about that?
I don't think
niggas going broke. I can name a couple of niggas that went broke. They had 4, 5, 800 pair of Jordans. Starting with Warren Sapp.
The resale value on them good if they now you clean them up and shit, but it's still I don't know, bro. If they over there making them shits for $6 and we paying $300 for them shits, like goddamn, you know they hitting a lick on that.
Yo, and then check this out. Now keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind, right? And you got motherfuckers over here fancying themselves as master teachers and intellectuals, and they wearing Jordans. How does that sound now?
Well, I mean, what's the homie that make the shoes Off-White? What's the nigga Virgil? I guess, you know, all our best talent get soaked up by the white person. Like, you know, what's the homie name? Basquiat, who Jay-Z grew his dreads out for, I guess. Like, white people made his art worth millions of dollars. We didn't, even though Basquiat was black, who made his artwork worth millions of dollars, Max? It damn sure wasn't. I mean, our culture influences art, but white people made it worth millions of dollars and shit.
I mean, we got a brother online named Art. I don't know if you know Art Nutshell. That brother his skills is ridiculous. Have you seen him on his shows doing drawing and paintings live?
Nah, would you say like the black world?
Yeah, man, that brother right there. Shout out to Art Nutshell. Ridiculous skills, bro. And you know, are we supporting art? Are we getting art out there? Probably not. See, black people we're supremely talented, bro. The problem is our mindset is fucked up. Speaking of my sister Lucy, I was speaking about her earlier. Shout out to I Am Lucy in the chat. Yeah, Lucy, you got to click the bell again. You got to click it off and tick it again because some people ain't get the notification. Lucy, you know, me and the brother Musa was just sitting up here talking about connections over in Ghana. You know, Lucy lives in Ghana, and she lives over here too, but she lives in Ghana. She lives in Ghana, and she was talking about us making a connection over in Africa. Maybe it's time that we try to open up some different streams of revenue because we don't produce anything. Like I said, instead of spending $1 trillion on bullshit, we can open up a few manufacturing plants in the urban communities and put our people to work and produce product that we can ship all around the United States and build an economy that way. And like I said, we don't have to even produce anything complicated. paper plates, plastic spoons, and knives. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. And we don't do stuff. We don't think like that. This China man is, they got the market cornered and he's cleaning it up. Niggas don't even want to try to do nothing. Oh, yo, man, the Asian man, he got it cornered. So what? Muscle your way in. You do have some kind of advantage. You actually live over here in the United States. Yeah. So I'm sure businesses would rather pay you because you're right here rather than pay China the way they got to pay shipping costs to come all the way from the other side of the world all the way over here. I'm sure many businesses wouldn't mind foregoing that fee and dealing with people that are right here in America. And you can get it to them faster. So you got two things working for you. Okay, you got no export fees or import fees. I mean, you got no import fees, right? And you got faster transportation. You can transport it faster because you're right here in the United States. So instead of them taking 2 months for it to get over here on a goddamn boat, you can get it to them in a couple of days, depending on where they are. Even if you go coast to coast, the most it'll take you is 3.5 to 4 days. Versus ordering something 2 months ahead of time, you have to wait for a boat to get over here. Okay, and then when it gets here on a boat, you still gotta wait for a company to go pick it up and deliver it to you. So you got to pay another transportation fee to get it from the port to your business. I'm pretty sure a lot of businesses wouldn't mind dropping those fees and dealing with somebody here in the US because it's an advantage. They can make more of a profit. But Black folks don't think like that. We got motherfuckers telling you, Mom, man, we can't do nothing, man. Let's not do anything because other people are doing it. You know how many people in this country that are doing the same thing and still making money? For some reason, Black folks don't want to do nothing that other people are doing because according to our elders and some of the old niggas that run their goddamn mouth, oh man, it's a waste of time. Then what the hell are we supposed to do then? What are we going to do and when are we going to do it? You'll get no answer because they don't want you to do anything. Because many of them are paid by white supremacists.
That's a little hard. You say they paid by white supremacists. That's a little harsh.
Yeah. No, that's real, bro. That's real. Many of them are getting checks from white supremacists. Okay, let's welcome to the panel.
They getting checked by a white supremacist or they getting checks from a white supremacist?
Getting checks, many of them getting checks from white supremacists. Supported by white supremacists.
So they playing
let's welcome to the panel, Joe Whitfield. What's going on, Joe?
What do you say, Joe?
Joe, you there?
Okay, yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, what's going on,
Joe?
man? What's going on with you?
Man. Just chilling with the young millennial brother here, man. Chopping it up.
Okay. No, well, I mean, what you were talking about there, in the case of we don't build anything, we as a collective, as a country, no matter what, don't build anything anymore. And, I think about back in my father's day, they had steel plants going, they had the car plants going. I mean, now a lot of that stuff is no more. We got to take that back. That shit's going to China for the most part. China, Japan, Korea, they're building it for a quarter of the price. It's cheaper for them to build it over there, for the Chinese to build it over there, and send it back to us than for us to build it here sometimes, which makes no damn sense.
Wait a minute, say that again. You say if I was to make some Jordans in America, it would be cheaper for a Chinese person to make it in China and send it to America than what I can make those same Jordans in America, Joe W. So.
Yep, correct. And that's what happened here. Now we've gotten it so to the point where, okay, it's cheaper to build that shit over there than it is basically for us to do it here. I mean, there's probably never been a Jordan that was ever made in this country. It's probably been made in Vietnam or China or something like that. They put the swoosh on it, Nike gets the money off of it, and you get the sneaker that you paid $200 for. And the Chinese, basically, the cat that made it, only probably paid $5 per shoe. The markup is like 200%, 300%, 400%. And that's what they do. And it's cheaper now, even with like say with the Japanese and the Germans with building cars. Think about it right now. What's the most American-made pickup truck in the country? What would you think it'd be?
GMC.
Wrong. Honda. So, yeah, it's made. Matter of fact, it's made. I could take you right by the plant now. It's made here in the little town that I live in. Honda trucks and Acuras are made right here in Alabama. 100%. And all the parts are made here. GMC, Dodge, well, now they call them Ram now. Ram and like Ford, their parts are made in Mexico. Parts are made over in someplace else, Singapore. Their parts made all over the blessed place. But it's we had to take that shit back. Because I think of it this way. A lot of people don't even probably realize this. And I think Trump signed off on this shit, where they're gonna have it where all of our, like, say, chicken, poultry, and all that stuff that you see Tyson and all those things. It's easier for them it's cheaper for them, they claim, to process the chicken in China and send it back to you here in America. So I'm gonna ship it 10,000 miles for them to process it and then turn around and send it back to me. It's wild out here with that. A lot of people don't realize it. A lot of that stuff is happening here. And it's sitting right in front of us the whole entire time. And, we as a people going to need to take that back. And millennials, as Max has been saying, I think are going to be in the forefront of all of this. Because, Generation X, I'm kind of like an X baby, actually. I'm right at the end of the baby boom, but the beginning of the X, So, we basically living in a whole different planet. We used to build shit. Now we become consumers. Now look what's happening here. Yo, it's crazy. But even like this thing, YouTube. Who the freak owns this thing? I forgot who even. I think it's Google, right? I think Google. Whatever. But who the freak?
Okay, I'm back. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm back.
No.
I was on the call.
Oh, no problem. I was just saying about we stopped building shit here. We stopped doing things. Like I was saying, your brother. With the most American built truck in this country is actually Honda.
Hondas, yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, it's built right here in the little town I'm in Alabama. It's a big ass plant, and what the Japanese do, they bring all their daggone parts makers with them, so they don't have to worry about some damn typhoon took out the boat that was bringing their shit from Yokohama to here. So that's what they do. So Max, you hit it on point with this topic. But we're gonna need millennials, and it's gonna take all of us, but especially our millennials are gonna make the change.
Yeah, we got young. That's why I call them the Millennium Soldiers. They're ready, man. These people are ready. They're action oriented. They don't want to hear all of this BS about 50, 90 years ago. That doesn't help them now.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
They didn't live in that time.
It doesn't help us at all. It doesn't help them at all, I should say. Because the thing about it, at the end of the day, what benefit do you? Okay, yeah, this is the way we did shit back in the day. Okay, well, back in the day is no more. What the fuck are you gonna do right now? How are you gonna help these people out right now? How are we gonna make changes right now? You got like I think young brother said earlier, a whole lot of niggas talking a whole lot of rhetoric, talking about a bunch of whatever, talking loud, saying nothing. Well, panels and
But that's what I, right, that's what I was saying. Right. Well, that's what I was saying before, right? They're looking at it from a different perspective. They're looking at these generations of elders, right, from different nationalities, and they're looking at their younger generation, and they're seeing that their young generation are being grandfathered in. They're being put into wealth. They're already coming in with a full deck,
right?
And they turn around, they look at us like, "Yo, well, what are y'all doing?" "Oh, we still laying down. We've been kicked in our face and shit, so we haven't gotten up yet." And so they turn around and they see the other generation, they go do the history. Well, they've been kicked down too.
Right.
But they got up. How come y'all didn't get up? Then we on something, well, you got to know your history. What are you talking about?
I know my history and they ain't telling me to sit down.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so they, it's a bunch of, they're being fed bullshit. This is why they're frustrated and why they're starting to lose respect for a lot of elders and shit. And they don't want to hear this shit.
Right. And rightly so. Why would we want to hear this? Why would, if you're not basically in a mode to let's work this, work the plan, make it happen, make the changes that need to be made, then you're just talking about much or nothing.
Right. I mean, no one is saying, like, I haven't heard a millennial say that they don't care about what we went through. They don't care about what our ancestors went through. I've never heard any of them say that. They understand what the hell we went through. But what they want to know is, well, okay, what are you doing now, though? And the answer is always nothing. It's always nothing.
That's why we're sliding on a slippery slope downhill.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, millennials are the change. They're the ones that are making the changes that need to be made, the shit that needs to happen. It's a new day.
We too old. We can't fight this war anymore. We got young people that are very capable of not only fighting this war, but winning this war, but we won't help them get the things that they need, because we're too busy being, acting like we know what the hell we talking about and we know every damn thing and everything's a damn history lesson and, long-winded as hell, conversations that last to the all-out extent that don't produce shit at the end of the conversation. That's what they're dealing with. When they see other races of people, they don't see that. They see action. How do you think they feel they're in their 20s and 30s and they look at the competing generation, right, are already grandfathered in and already playing with a full deck?
I ain't gonna say that, bro, because you got to look at who bombed Tulsa, the military. You can't sue the military. You can't fight these motherfuckers, but you can't say the ancestors didn't start off with good intentions and niggas just bombed them and shit. Like niggas just be hating and shit. So I'm not just gonna sit up here and say that shit, bro. But fuck, it's
no, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say the answers. No. What I'm saying is, a lot of the elders think that the millennials are disrespectful to our ancestors. Okay? They think that you guys are disrespectful and that you don't care about our history. Do you feel that way? Do you not care about our history?
I care a lot about the history, but I realize that, you can't just fight somebody with an army who got nuclear weapons straight up. If, you just, the situation requires finesse. You feel me? Like, and I appreciate the finesse, for real.
Hello? Yes.
Hello?
think Max must have took a call or something like this.
Oh, I was gonna say, what happened?
Yeah, I was finna say, man, I appreciate what the homies did. It's not like, damn, y'all could have did more. It's like, man, y'all were facing great odds and shit. And sometimes, man, that shit ain't appreciated enough. And sometimes maybe Max is right. Y'all could have did a little bit more. But it's not my place to say that. It's not my place to judge and, you know.
Right. No, I understand. And you're right. We could have done. I think I look at myself and say now in my 50s, I mean, there's more that could have been done, but it's not over with yet either. I'm not throwing a towel up. I still got a lot of, hopefully, God willing, a lot of years left. You know, so that we can make substantive change and be more action oriented. But you know, that's what it's going to take. Conversations like this one right here.
Yeah,
you know, people like Max talking about it and bringing it up. You know, so that's the biggest thing. You know, so like I said, we got to start doing what's right for us, handling our shit, getting stuff done.
My bad, sorry about that, guys. I had a call. Yeah, so
Oh, I am Lucy. Hey, how you doing this? I don't know if she's still out there or not, but
yeah, she's still there. She's still there.
Oh, good. Yeah, we need to get Lucy some of Lucy's pearls of wisdom here. She must be at work. Yeah, but it's gonna take talk. It's gonna take talk with action. It's going to make change, not just talk with talk. That's just a whole lot of niggas is listening to each other, talking back and forth. Shit, I can do that. I can do that any day. Now we gotta make this happen. We gotta make the changes that need to be done.
Yeah, I think that's what Max was alluding to when we was talking about Dr. Umar Johnson. You know, we can say this nigga got buku degrees. He had to write them papers. He had to talk. You know what I'm saying? But if he had to action, brothers backing him up with money, maybe the school turned out different. You know, so shit.
Right. Yeah, it might have been a whole different situation.
I don't know if you was listening to that part of it, but I think you was coming up here talking about that Honda Alabama shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but that's why I say the thing is, like I said, a lot of this shit was built here. You know, I mean that now we don't even build our own shit, which is sad. We're doing it for somebody else.
They don't teach that shit in school no more. I mean, I hate to just say this shit. You know, I seen a Tony Tire commercial the other day. They say they taking sports out of schools. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, sports, music, all that stuff is gone almost. So it's a new day now, unfortunately. Not a better day, but a new day. You know. Let's see how it goes. What, Max jumped off again? You must be getting phone calls back to back.
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 1 second. I'm on a phone call. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you must be getting phone calls all day.
Shit, since I got you here, Joe, do you believe older black men such as yourself should take the initiative and open schools up for, you know, the younger homies and pass down the wisdom, or is that up to the state and the government to run schools and shit like that?
No, I think it's up to us. I think it's up to us to basically educate, like you said, the young homies that need the help and we want to help so we can grow the shit. You look for the state to do this mess, it'll never happen. And believe me, they're not going to show you everything. They're not going to tell you anything about anything. It's going to be like what school is now. And it's not really about shit. It's not, No, we got to handle it. We got to take care of our own. And that's why I think we need more situations like that where we educate younger brothers on what's up, how to do this, how to maneuver through some of this shit so that they won't be frustrated. So they won't get irritated, frustrated, discouraged, and all that good stuff. So yeah, we're going to do better with that. We got to do better with that. Wait a minute, did this thing just go out for me? Okay, my screen just went blank. That's why. Wi-Fi just came on. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's pretty much my answer to it. Yeah, we're gonna have to do more like almost like Umar Johnson type things.
But you know, Umar Johnson was unsuccessful, Joe W. He failed.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. And I think, unfortunately, I think we should have done a better job at holding him accountable for his stuff. If you're going to do that kind of thing, start a school for young men or young people, period, young black people, then do that.
What's the nigga that paid for everybody shit at what's the nigga name?
Oh shoot.
He graduated and he said, fuck it, everybody graduate for free. What's the nigga name?
Right. Yeah, that Morehouse. No, Johnson I thought was the last. No, it's not Johnson. Shit. Anybody out there in the anybody out in the
I mean, not to just whatever. How much do you think it costs to pay all them people tuition, and how much you think it costs to just open up the school and shit? Like,
shoot, to pay all their tuitions, Morehouse. This Morehouse probably costs like $30,000 a year, $20,000, something like that. So it depends on how many people graduated. I think he probably paid a couple of million.
He couldn't break out one for Umar, huh?
Yeah, I mean that would have been, if you want to start a school or do something, make a change. Yeah, paying for everybody to go off to, finish coming, paying everybody tuition bill and stuff off. It's one thing. I mean, that's nice and all. Okay, but that only affects a small population. Where if he basically went to a situation where he paid to, like you said, start a school or start schools in this country that are going to really educate, black people on what's up, that'd be a different thing. I mean, it's a nice gesture, but you look at it at the end of the day, it only helped out, what, a couple hundred people, really. I mean, 200, 100, whatever it might have been that graduated from Morehouse. Now, it'd be a different thing. Okay, yeah, okay, even if you found jobs for them, that still, again, that only affects a couple hundred people. Instead of having something where you start a school and a couple thousands of people might benefit from it. Or giving it to somebody like Umar Johnson, that if he was going to do the school thing, he would benefit from it.
I don't know, man. Maybe niggas didn't trust Umar. Was that the consensus? Like, did niggas not trust him with the millions? Like, niggas got them shits. They put them shits on chains. Like, why they didn't give it to Umar? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that I don't know. I know people that gave money to him. I mean, I know people that gave money to him. I know people that gave to him numerous times, and I really don't know the particulars on that situation. Why did it not work? And what was the problem? He had a good concept. I think he found a building finally that he could get in Delaware somewhere, I think. But it seemed like people were just like, they'd rather spend their money on something else.
But we're not trying to shit on him. We're just trying to say, damn, this brother got a great idea. Black people with an education, educating black people, but the wind to get took out of ourselves and the money get fucked up and we don't know what happened. You got people like Max saying, not only are they making schools, but they making factories and charging us $200 market price for a pair of Jordans. It's like, we can't even educate ourselves, let alone capitalize on our own culture. This shit is fucking crazy, bro. They selling Jordans to us, bro. Like, this is ridiculous.
Right. And the thing about it is, like I said, the people that are making these damn sneakers in Vietnam or Korea or China, wherever they're from, benefit them. I mean, they only get paid a couple of dollars a year or whatever it is, a month or whatever it might be.
But they educating each other on the process.
Right. And so that, and at the end of the day, everybody benefits from that particular sneaker being built or made, except us. we end up with a sneaker that costs too much, basically. That's overpriced. That's the problem. We end up with a damn sneaker that costs way too much.
Yeah, shit be crazy as fuck, Joe. Shit crazy as hell, man. Hey, what you got going out there? You still fuck with them nags, huh?
Yeah, I still have my babies there. Matter of fact, that's why I just came in and I had to get some feed and stuff. So that's what I heard Max was on. I said, let me jump on for a minute. You know, because it looks like it's about to rain out here now. And I'll try to get this shit done before they.
Yeah, I think I'm finna jump off, man. I think Max busy on the phone call, and I don't want to hold up too much of the panel and shit, man. I think I'm just up here, what you call that shit? Meandering and shit, bro. But I appreciate you, Max, homie, for, you know what I'm saying, letting me on the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Always a pleasure, homie. Y'all stay
Always,
blessed.
man.
All right, brother.
For sure.
All right, brother.
All right, y'all. I'm about to shut it down anyway. Hold on 1 second here.
Yeah.
Let me.
I'm about to go knock out some stuff anyway, because like I said, it looks like it's about to rain up in this joint. It's like in the 70s, but it's like freaking, look like this tornado weather type shit here.
I'm trying to feel where the hell did the damn stream even go? Hold on.
Oh, that's true. Lucy. Yeah, Lucy. Kaepernick gave us a sneaker too. Yeah, he did.
Hold on, I'm trying to see something here. You said Kaepernick gave us a sneaker.
Yeah, Lucy was saying that down in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was just talking about that down there. About Kaepernick gave us a shoe too. Yeah, you know, I mean, like I said, man, please. When I was like stationed over in Japan, you go to Korea back then. You went over to Korea, you could buy 500 pairs of sneakers for the price of like 1 year. So people was buying them shits and bringing them back home. It was cheap. People don't realize.
All right, Joe. Thanks for coming on. I'm about to shut it down.
Yeah,
I got
man,
something to do.
Yeah, I gotta get back to work anyway. And I think Lucy at the plantation herself, she said so.
Yeah, she on the plantation. All right, everybody. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in to this midday broadcast. We'll probably be back later on tonight with the Quiet Drive with me and the Dame Frankie. And I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget, we got Ladies Night coming. All right? All right, everybody. Peace out. Peace, power, and unity.